Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a realistic league expansion video. Initially, the plan with this thing was to be a series. The way that was formatted, I felt like I wasn't talking enough about strategy and things like that. So rather than a bunch of 10-minute videos, I'd rather focus a few hours into one video. Let's do a video. We'll see how it goes, and then if I like the format, maybe I'll continue the series in form of like an hour. Yeah, I made that design. I'll show you the design afterwards. And the other team will be based in the Las Vegas Flamingos. I like the design. I think it's cool. Las Vegas deserves a team. Bruce Brown will be the first player off the board. It's a good selection. 81 overall player. I'm going to be taking 24-year-old Gary Trent Jr. with the first pick. My strategy here is going to be youth that I can potentially develop. And I see a guy like Talen Horton-Tucker, 22 years old, 75 overall. I like that. See, the Flamingos are going with a risky strategy. They're going with a lot of contract. Bruce Brown and Gordon Hayward combined for $50 million already. Dorian Finney-Smith is a solid role player, although he's already 30 years old, 33, and then 27. So my strategy is youth and small contracts. It seems like their strategy is best available with no regard for contract size. I would like to take on Gary Payton II from the Golden State Warriors. So far, we have drafted all shooting guards, or actually, we've drafted Talen Horton-Tucker, who technically classifies as a point guard. Let's go out there and look for a big forward or a big. Nothing really pops into my eyes at the moment. A guy like Thomas Bryant, 26 years old, could be an interesting player. Last year, he's coming off a year where he averaged 10 points, 5 rebounds, and very solid efficiency. So why not? Let's pick Thomas Bryant up. The Flamingos take on Norman Powell and Gabe Vincent. Okay. We still need forwards, although I like the look of Luke Kennard. $14 million is not too much of an overpay for a great shooter like Kennard. Last season, he averaged very good shooting splits. Whoa. Wow, that's incredible shooting splits on a good sample size as well. Let's take on Luke Kennard's contract. Potentially something that we can get rid of in case of things. Let's also take on a guy like Torrey Craig, Chuma Okeke, and Julian Champagnie get picked up. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. All right, let's go for youth. Let's go out there and pick up Leonard Miller, B- potential, and basically C's across the board. And also pick up another forward. A guy like Patrick Baldwin Jr. is very intriguing from the Washington Wizards. He has an A- 3-point shot already. He could also turn into a solid all-around player, although he already got that 3-point shot going for him. So let's go out there and pick up Patrick Baldwin. Kemba Walker and JaVale McGee get picked up from the Flamingos. All right, let's go out there and look at some point guards. I do like the Patrick Beverly pickup here. A solid veteran in the locker room could go a long way. Let's go out there and pick up a solid big man once again. A guy like Cody Zeller is not a bad player at all. He's coming off a year where he averaged 6 points, 4 rebounds with Miami in limited minutes. Damian Jones is not a bad player here. Boban Marjanovic obviously is a very solid player in the locker room. I say let's go for Boban Marjanovic. Cody Zeller gets picked up, and so does Maxi Kleber. All right, we're nearing the end of the draft. I say let's go for guys that we can potentially trade away in the trade deadline. A guy like Georges Niang. So let's go out there and pick him up. Why not? Let's also go out there and get ourselves a solid. Let's see. We have a lot of guards. I think we're good on guards at the moment. Forwards, we're good on forwards. Bigs, we're okay. At this point, we just need to fill out the draft, get guys that we can potentially trade away. A guy like O'Shea Brissett, 25 years old, A- potential. Jalen Pickett, sure, let's pick him up from the Denver Nuggets. Maledon and Lindy Waters, two former Thunder players, get picked up here back to back. And I think this is our last pick. Our last two picks will be, let's go for specialty players. I would like to target a few defenders here. Let's go with Kevin Knox, the second here. Solid 3 and D apparently. Not much to be said about Kevin Knox. Obviously not the player that he was projected to be. And with the last pick of this draft, let's go with an absolute sniper. The best shooter available is going to be AJ Green from the Milwaukee Bucks. 5 badges as well. That's a solid addition. And with the last pick, the Flamingos select Vit Krejci, another former Thunder player. So, all right, let's exit the draft, auto-generate, and let's see what the team is looking like. All right, so our point guard positions are Talen Horton-Tucker, Patrick Beverley, and Jalen Pickett. Our shooting guard positions are Gary Trent, Gary Payton, Luke Kennard, and AJ Green. We don't have any small forwards. Our power forwards are Torrey Craig, Georges Niang, Kevin Knox, Patrick Baldwin Jr., and Leonard Miller. And our centers are Thomas Bryant and Boban Marjanovic. This is what the Flamingos team is looking like. Jalen Noel, I don't remember him being drafted, so he must be a free agency pickup. Bruce Brown, Norman Powell, Lindy Waters, and Josh Christopher. Gordon Hayward, TJ Warren, Julian Champagnie, and Vit Krejci. TJ Warren, another guy picked up after the draft. Seems like they've been very busy, very solid team already, although they're lacking at the big man position. All right, so let's look at free agency ourselves. Let's see if there's any players that look intriguing. We also have 3 two-way contracts that we can pick up. And I also want to make some positional changes because some of these guys will be playing majority small forward for me. Regardless of that, let's look at free agency and see what's available to us. I see a lot of solid options. I will steer clear from guys that are already retired like Andre Iguodala and also Terrence Ross. Frank Kaminsky is not a terrible player to be had here, a very solid shooter, although not the biggest sample size in the last few years. 25-year-old Frank Jackson could be an intriguing player, although we don't really need shooting guards at the moment. Ish Wainwright could be an intriguing prospect here, although he's already 29 years old. I'd like to target somebody younger, like Romeo Langford. Langford did not have the best year with San Antonio last year, although 46% from the field is not terrible. A guy like Isaiah Roby, another former Thunder player that I'm looking at right now, is not a terrible player. These 2 years with OKC really does wonders for his value as a prospect to me. Let's see what kind of contract Langford wants. A 1-year, $2.4 million deal. I don't hate it. Let's give him a 2-year deal, guaranteed. Welcome to the team. I would also like to pick up Ron Harper Jr. on a 2-way contract, which he agrees to. Let's go out there and get John Butler on a 2-way contract as well, which he happily accepts. All right, so I'm going to save my third spot for later. Let's do positional changes. So this is what the point guard positions are looking like. I would like to do this right here. Talon Horton-Tucker can run point guard and small forward. Patrick Beverley, I would like him to run just point guard minutes. So will Jalen Pickett. Gary Trent is fine there. Gary Payton would like that. I would like that for Gary Payton. Okay. Let's do Langford at the small forward. He'll be my main small forward. Torrey Craig will also run small forward minutes. Let's have Georges Niang run small forward as well. I would like to put Baldwin at the small forward position. And let's slide John Butler at the center position. And that's looking pretty golden to me right now. So let's quickly take a look at this right now. Looking pretty good. So let's have Talon Horton-Tucker focusing on his all-around game as a small forward. All-around game, yes. Jalen Pickett, I would like him to focus on his two-way game. Gary Trent, let's have him focusing on his two-way game as a small forward. And Gary Payton, he's already 30 years old. Let's omit him. Luke Kennard, 27 years old. Let's just skip on him for now. Romeo Langford, let's have him focusing on his all-around abilities. AJ Green, let's have him focusing on his perimeter defense. It's only an average rating, so let's actually put him at the two-way, which is high. Torrey Craig, 32. Niang, 30. Kevin Knox, 24. Let's have him focusing on his defense, which is high. Patrick Baldwin, let's have him focusing on his all-around game as a small forward. The same thing with Leonard Miller. Let's have him focusing on his all-around game. Thomas Bryant, let's have him focusing on his defensive game. And that's about it. I would like to focus on depth here and youth. Let's have Georges Niang at the starting position, which is it's a bit much, but we'll run with that for now. All right, so let's have everybody run about 25 minutes ish. Our best player is Gary Trent, so let's have him run about 28 minutes. Langford will get about 25 minutes. Niang about 20 minutes. 23 is fine. Thomas Bryant will get more since he is one of our better players. Gary Payton off the bench can get about 20. Craig about 16. Kennard about 16. Beverley about 15. Miller about 14. Knox can get those, and then a couple minutes here and there can go to Baldwin. All right, I'm not disliking this rotation, although it seems like we have too much guards, especially too many shooting guards and not enough centers. It'll be fixed eventually. Yeah, let's simcast the game. Why not? 17-16 opening. Whoa, okay. So yeah, he goes inside and he misses the layup. Kornet puts it back up and in. A 3-point lead in the fourth quarter. 1 minute 52 seconds remaining in Louisville. Gary Trent trying to get some kind of offense going. He goes all the way inside. A mid-range jumper misses. Kornet rebounds. Gives it up to White. Derek White. Tatum. Porzingis with a screen. Defense is played well. Jason Tatum inside. Mid-range jumper. Rims in and out. Niang gives it up to Patrick Beverley. Yeah. Beverley Feeds it inside to Gary Payton. Trent rejected. Gets his own rebound and puts it back up and in, and it's good over Porzingis. He has 16 points in 21 minutes, 46% from the field. Gary Payton doing a solid defensive job on Jason Tatum. Look at that height differential. Last time these two faced off in the playoffs was the NBA Finals, where Golden State won the NBA championship. Wait a minute, number 11 is not Gary Payton, is it? Number 0 is Gary Payton. So who is number 11? I don't know my own team. All right, so the timeout is called, and while the timeout is going on, let's figure out who number 11 is. Number 11 is Jalen Pickett. Jalen Pickett is putting up the clamps on Jason Tatum. 6'2", Jalen Pickett. Langford gives it up to Trent. Trent guarded. Oh, okay. He's getting clamped up. This is absolute seatbelts right here. Screen from Niang. This is the most seatbelt performance I've ever seen. He is clamped. He hasn't moved, and he's not passing the rock either. Last second pass, the worst contested shot ever. He's on the floor after that contest. That was probably the worst possession I've ever seen. We need a true point guard on the team. Brown cuts inside in a 1-point Panthers lead with a 16 remaining. It's going to be Derek White with his second personal foul, putting the Panthers on the line. Oh, that was such a bad possession, man. We need a true point. That's what I just saw from that. A guy like Vasily Micic from the Thunder could be a solution. I really don't know. That was just a terrible possession, honestly. Anyway, 2 shots coming up for the Panthers here. Let's just... There we go. Thank you. Trent. A potential to ice the game here. Regardless of if he makes it or not, it'll still be a 1-possession game. And he sinks it. Celtics call a timeout. Their final one. 15.8 seconds remaining in this game. Panthers are surprisingly shocking me in a good way. In a very, very good way. They have pleasantly surprised me. Regardless of that, they still have an opportunity to win, tie. Well, they have an opportunity to tie. They don't really have an opportunity to win. Porzingis for the tie, and it's good. Ooh, Porzingis pushes it to OT. Let's see. Panthers called their final timeout. 7.5 seconds remain. That's a lot of seconds for a game-winning opportunity, although Boston is a very gritty defensive team, so we'll see what happens. Gary Trent, 4, 3, 2 for the game. Oh, he hits the tough shot. And that's ice. Oh, and the full court heave. It's off. Gary Trent Jr. ices the game. 21 points, including the game winner. 4 of 6 from 3. 7 of 14 from the field. Talen Horton-Tucker struggled a bit from the field. I believe that is 40%. Not too bad, I guess. Romeo Langford, a solid addition to the team, 10 points. I believe against his former team, yes. Thomas Bryant, solid game. Gary Payton, a solid game. Leonard Miller gave us a solid game off the bench, and so did everybody else. The first week, we got 3 more games. Loss against 3 very solid teams. All right, so our losses are stacking up. I mean, no surprise there. I'm not expecting to win the championship year 1. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful update required screen. I'll be right back. All right, so we are back. We won against the Charlotte Hornets by 1 singular point. Yeah, I like a deep rotation. Trent, 5 for 10, not bad. All right, let's continue simulating. See where we're sitting at. Ooh, okay. We're sitting at a record of 6-7. That puts us 10th in the conference. Let's see how we're doing statistically. We have the third worst offense with 106.5. The Flamingos and the Panthers also have a top 10 defense. Not bad at all. 114.3 with a net negative of a lot. We could be much better. I think we're missing that true point guard. Let's look at player stats from our team. Talen Horton-Tucker is our leading scorer with 14 points per game. 13 points for Gary Trent. I am a bit disappointed. I thought he would be closer to that 17, 18 points per game mark that he was with in Toronto. Langford is 10 points per game. Kennard off the bench, 8, 7 for Peyton. Knox is extremely efficient, shooting 53, 48, and 80 shooting splits with 7 points. Not bad at all. Niang a little inefficient as a starter. Leonard Miller, 50 from the field, 23 from 3. Not terrible. Solid statistics there. Pickett is pretty efficient for a rookie. Not bad at all. Beverly is okay. He's not very efficient, but it's not too far off his the last couple years of his career. Boban has not played. AJ Green has not played. Ron Harper and John Butler have not played. I really do want to get a good scouting department going on. So I'm going to bring in a bunch of scouts. And let's bring in that final person. Perfect. A full house on the scouting department. I think that's very important for us because our best player is Gary Trent. Georges Niang. Let's decrease those minutes and give it out to Leonard Miller. And I'm not opposed to the rest of the lineup for now. All right. Thomas Bryant, 12.9 points, 8 rebounds, and a block a game. That's pretty good. So look it up. Dallas Mavericks lottery protected first round pick from 2026 for a 2027 first round pick in Talen Horton-Tucker. Horton-Tucker has been a very solid player for us, and Richaun Holmes is essentially a salary dump for Dallas. Both of them make about $12 million. Talen Horton-Tucker will be the best point guard behind Luka Doncic. It's not a bad offer. Let's see if we can get Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy is 21 years old, 6'3". He could run that point guard position for us. So far in the games that he has played, he's averaging 12 points per game. Let's see if they would like to receive Torrey Craig. The Mavericks received Talen Horton-Tucker, Torrey Craig, Boban Marjanovic, 2 second-round picks, 26 and 27. I receive a lottery-protected first-round pick from 26, a 28 unprotected pick, Jaden Hardy, 21 years old, and also Richaun Holmes. I'm saying yes to this deal. We made our first deal. A very good deal, in my opinion. Gives us a solid guard player here. Jaden Hardy already up to a 75. We'll give him about 31 minutes a night. I really do like his potential. Let's give Gary Trent increased minutes of 30. Miller is okay as a starter, although not too comfortable with that. Also, let's give those minutes to Thomas Bryant. 27 is good for him. Peyton about 17. Kennard about 11. Beverly about 8. Baldwin about 13. Pickett about 13. Let's actually do that. Thank you. Niang can get about 16. Holmes can get about 14. And Knox can get about 12. And the rest of the minutes can go to Kennard, Pickett, and Beverly. All right, our first trade is officially done. Let's see how the team looks now that we have done that. Still not a true point guard, but Jaden Hardy is definitely a more interesting prospect compared to Talon Horton Tucker. Couple close losses here. Another trade offer is being offered up between the Flamingos. The Flamingos are offering us Julian Champagnie, who is a very solid player, a very solid efficiency, although he has not played a single minute yet, and a second round pick unprotected for Romeo Langford. Langford is a very efficient player who does a little bit of everything, 9 points per game. Very solid player. I will refuse that offer. Ooh, incredible win against the Miami Heat, 105-75 with a 21-8 third quarter run. I don't see Jimmy Butler, so he was out. But still, a win is a win, especially against a very solid Miami team. The thing with the deep rotation is even when you have guys shooting 0 for 5, 1 for 6, 0 for 6, 10 for 24, you got guys like 7 of 9, 5 of 7, 4 of 7, 3 of 3 that do solid things as a replacement. Marquise Bolden, not a terrible player, seems to be a solid inside defender and also a rebounder. He also has a badge as a 68 overall player. Interesting. Marquise Bolden on a two-way deal, and he happily signs his contract. Let's put him in the rotation for now. Miles Bridges is being offered up. Will decline the offer. It's a very intriguing offer. I'll just pass up on it for now. Don't really need to make a move right now. A win against the Charlotte Hornets and another pinched nerve injury. Trade candidates, definitely Gary Payton, Gary Trent, Kennard, Beverly, and Niang. I'd say maybe untouchables could be Hardy. A win against both of those teams. I'm very shocked. It seems like we have their number. 8 of 22 shooting is not very appealing, although a win is sweet. Georges Niang popped off from 3, 4 of 6, 6 of 8 from the field, 6 rebounds, great games. Win against the San Antonio Spurs, and it looks like Richaun Holmes gave Wembanyama the ass whooping of the century. Richaun Holmes at 19-12, a couple blocks and steals here and there, and Wembanyama got clamped up 0 for 5 from 3. Yes, although he did have 5 blocks, so a solid game. Game against the Flamingos is coming up, and I'm very excited to watch that game. Jaden Hardy will miss that game, though, as he will be out with an injury. Let's slide Pickett into the starting lineup. Why not? See what he's all about. Thomas Bryant, we'll give AJ Green some minutes. We'll see what the shooter does. And now we're going to go up against our draft rivals, I guess. Their team is obviously much better than ours. Compared to ratings. So I'm very, very excited to simcast this game. Their team is also 1,000 times more expensive than ours. And ooh, a 40-17 opening. And it's already a blowout by first half. Ooh, and a 101-127 victory. Patrick Baldwin off the bench, 20 points in 13 minutes. Marquise Bolden is apparently really cold. 12% from the field, although he is a positive net player. It's very confusing. Only 10 points, 35 rebounds, 8 blocks. So he has almost as many blocks as points. Okay. That confuses me. 3 of 24 from the field. No three-pointers attempted. This is very... Oh, okay. 10 fouls. Very weird player from Duke. All right, let's simcast, or let's just simulate the game. And another pinched nerve. Bertans for Langford is an absolutely disgusting offer. Never call my phone again. All right, I think it is time to play around with shot tendencies. Let's increase his shot tendency to 75. Let's increase his shot tendency to 80. And rest of these shot tendencies seem to be fine where it's at. Pat Connaughton and a first round pick. Okay, this team does not have a shooting guard, and they could use a guy like Gary Payton. So I'm calling your phone, and I want your pick. They're not interested in the deal, and they have a counter offer. Why would they do this? Okay, hey, they're the ones that gave me that offer. Terrence Mann, welcome to the team. I get rid of two of my trade players. Not bad. Yeah, okay. I'm not disappointed with that. All right, before doing trades, let's look at contract extensions and see who is eligible to re-sign. So Gary Trent is eligible to re-sign. A 2-year, $7 million deal is what he's seeking. And I'll give you a 4-year, $7 million flat deal. I love that kind of contract for him. Luke Kennard is looking for a minimum contract. Deal. 2 years minimum. Why not? Richaun Holmes. 1 year minimum. Sure, let's bring him back. Wow. What about Jordan Poole? I just take on Jordan Poole's trash contract. Jordan Poole is an untradeable asset. $27 million deal. For 4 years. I'm going to eat up that contract for a guy that's making $14 million. Okay, man. I guess I'm just wasting my time trying to do trades. Let's go out there and get our power forward that I was looking for. Stanley Johnson. Welcome to a 2-year minimum. And this will be the last game of the season against the Denver Nuggets. Let's simcast. Close one to start off, and I gotta shut my mouth. Yeah. All right, big blowout, and the Nuggets win. Luka Doncic is MVP, 37, 11, 9. Wembanyama is Rookie of the Year with solid shooting stats. Russell Westbrook is 6th Man of the Year. Wembanyama is also Defensive Player of the Year, very well deserved. Jaden Hardy is Most Improved Player of the Year, which I kind of disagree with. His efficiency went down with more minutes. He also averaged the same points per game, same rebounds, and basically the same everything with less efficiency as a starter. So you can argue. Clutch Player of the Year with 30 points per game is Anthony Edwards, and Chris Finch is Coach of the Year. Brandon Harrison is Executive of the Year. All-NBA First Team, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Trae Young, and LeBron James. All-NBA Second, Tyrese Shea, Joel Embiid, Ja Morant, and Damian Lillard. All-NBA Third is Edwards, Booker, Melo Ball. Victor Wembanyama makes it as a rookie, and De'Aaron Fox. All Defensive First is Shea, Doncic, Antetokounmpo, Mobley, and Wemby. All Defensive Second is Caruso, Jones, LeBron James, Jackson Jr., and Claxton. All Rookie First Team is Wemby, Holmgren, Thompson, Ausar, Miller, and Jackson Davis. And All Rookie Second Team is filled with Amen Thompson, Derek Lively, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Scoot Henderson, and our own Leonard Miller makes it with 8 points, 5 rebounds, and solid shooting splits per game. The Brooklyn Nets will take on Miami, Boston versus Toronto. The Sacramento Kings will take on the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Portland Trailblazers will face off against the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's simulate the play-in tournament. Sure, let's just CPU that. So Memphis and Clippers make it into the playoffs, and Boston and Brooklyn will make it into the playoffs. Biggest surprise here is for sure the Detroit Pistons and the Chicago Bulls, who both make it into the playoffs. Help them out tremendously. Before we start simulating, I do want to look at some of the transaction reports and see what kind of trades were made throughout the years. Obviously, our Talon Horton trade was the first one. Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala somehow landed the Pistons' Clint Capella. Duncan Robinson was shipped off for Jetty Usman and a second-round pick. Conchar was moved for James Johnson. The Thunder made a move for Jalen McDaniels, shipping away Vasily Micic and a second-round pick. Liddell was picked off for Goodwin. Javon Carter and Julian Phillips was traded for Malachi Flynn and Ryan Arcidiacono. Joe Ingles was shipped off to Toronto for Chris Boucher. Amir Coffey from the Clippers, and that's all the trades that were done. Memphis Grizzlies pulls off the 1-8 upset as they upset the Minnesota Timberwolves 4-2. The OKC Thunder beat the Lakers 4-2. Dallas takes on Denver and beats them in 5. The Clippers advance against the New Orleans Pelicans in just 6 games. In the Eastern Conference, Boston pushed Indiana to Game 7, unfortunately losing. Detroit swept the Chicago Bulls, the only sweep. Atlanta and Cleveland went to Game 7 as Cleveland triumphs. And Philadelphia advances against the Brooklyn Nets. Is very interesting as well. A lot of upsets in the Western Conference. Memphis upsets OKC. Now in the conference finals against the Clippers, who get their 3rd win against the Dallas Mavericks in the last couple years. Indiana sweeps Detroit, ending their Cinderella run. And yeah, Philadelphia takes care of business in 5. All right. The Clippers will face off against the Philadelphia 76ers in the finals. Embiid and James Harden share MVPs. And I'm rooting for the Sixers because if the Clippers win, my 19th pick turns into the 30th pick. So let's simcast game by game, or let's just simcast the first couple games and then see where we're sitting at. Philadelphia seems to be holding on to a lead, and a 46-30 third quarter run makes Philly take game 1. Game 2 is Philly. Game 3 is Los Angeles. Game 4 is Los Angeles 2-2. 3-2 Philadelphia, and Philly has a chance to win this series at LA. So a very big back and forth game, and wow. Philadelphia wins the championship, first time since 1983. And Embiid made a couple free throws to win the game. Knox, for some reason, was in the game, and he fouled Embiid with, and Leonard got his shot blocked. Would have been a game-tying shot, blocked by Covington, and Philadelphia wins the NBA championship. Thankfully, that means Los Angeles does give me my 19th pick projected. Embiid is Finals MVP with 27 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Very solid efficiency all around. And yes, let's look at player retirements. This is what player retirements are looking like. If you're a 75 overall player, I will bring you back for 1 more year. Gallinari comes back from 1 more. Draft lottery, this is very important for us. We're projected the 4th overall pick. Now the lottery is 16 picks rather than 14. Let's skip to the end. And we are awarded with the 3rd pick. The Milwaukee Bucks jump up to number 1. And the Flamingos get the 4th pick. Thanks to the Los Angeles Clippers, we also get the 19th pick, which is great. So let's go into the NBA Draft Combine. I do plan on spending some time here looking at players. I did do a lot of scouting here, so hopefully we'll have a good idea of who is to be picked. Apparently, there's a guy by the name of Jason Williams, 7'1", 18-year-old, 84 overall prospect. We do have the third pick. I cannot let this guy go to the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, his physicals are not very impressive, though. I mean, he is an 84 overall. Potential is Hall of Fame. And the worst he's going to be is Yao Ming. No medical concerns. Very solid mid-range shot. Unselfish player. 6 blocks per game. Seems to be a very generational athlete. I need this guy on my team. I don't care what it takes. I need him on the team. Let's continue to do prospect scouting as well. Let's just look at guys that may have not been scouted. The good thing about having the great scouting department is almost everybody that I care about has been scouted. So let's just go in and get some information about some of the guys that are like around 100 but not close. Yeah, 86. Yeah, sure. And then the rest of the guys are just something. Let's look at some guys that are like that project to be a solid wingspan. You know, a 6'4" point guard with a 6'10" wingspan. Ooh, this guy Elton Bird, not too bad. 6'10", 7'5" wingspan. 6'11", 7'8". So yeah. All right. So we're in the draft now, and I've decided that I should go out and get the first overall pick, no matter the cost. Pick, and honestly, it's not a terrible offer. Although I do want to play around with it a tad bit. If possible, I would like to keep that 19th overall pick, because this draft is filled with a bunch of 76 overall players. I was just looking at that. So the 19th pick will grant me some kind of a 76 overall player with solid potential for growth. And Gary Trent is my best player at the moment. So instead of him, let's do Luke Kennard. And you give me Pat Connaughton, which is more than allowed, I see. Okay. And then you can give me a guy like, I guess it won't work. I'll give you nope, I will not give you my pick from next year. However, I will give you my pick from 2028. And let's just shake hands on this. They're a championship contender. I get it. So instead of that late first round pick, I will give you this lottery protected Clippers pick. Okay, how about this? I will give you Trent. You give me 5. And you give me definitely not Lillard, although his trade value is surprisingly low. But yeah, no, I'm not interested in Dame. I'm interested in Pat Connaughton. And I'll give you lottery protected next round pick. Okay, forget that second round pick. I'll give you that lottery protected this pick right here. Championship favorites, and they don't want to, so they'll take the 19th pick, but they won't take a lottery protected pick from a team that will not be better than a 500. Okay. All right, let's just reset. First overall pick, come on. I'll give you 3. Give me your counter offer. Come on. Is there a chance I could get that 5th overall pick? Jaden Hardy. Okay. If they want Jaden Hardy, they can have him. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. He just won most improved player. But I honestly value that 19th pick more than Jaden Hardy. Let's do this trade. And they still want that pick. I don't want your pick. Leonard Miller. This is so much for the 1st overall pick. So much. A lot. I'm giving up a 20-year-old player that is coming off a incredible year where he averaged 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block on very good efficiency and made all rookie while playing 82 games. Jaden Hardy, who's coming off an MIP year, 22 years old. Gary Trent Jr., who is a solid role player for any team. And the 3rd overall pick, for the 1st overall pick, Pat Connaughton, a 2nd overall pick, which will be, the 2nd round pick, which will be about the 37th pick or something like that, and a future 1st round pick. As hard as this is for me to do, I'm gonna do it. The Milwaukee Bucks accept the trade, and unfortunately for me, I gave up some of the young players that I accumulated. But I do get access to a choice of Jason Williams or Linwood Page, both with 4 badges. But with the 1st overall pick of the 2024 pick, I will go with Jason Williams, 84 overall from Vanderbilt. Let's see what the scouts say. 15 rebounds per game, best in the nation. Thank you. Houston Rockets will select Linwood Page, 6'8", power forward from Maryland. Jabari Smith Jr., in case that gets too high, then yeah. Milwaukee Bucks will select Jacob McCarthy from Georgia Tech. Solid Chris Middleton replacement, apparently. Let's see who the Flamingos go with, and then we'll simcast to our next pick. Chris Butler from St. Louis goes 4th. A 42-inch vertical, highest amongst all attending small forwards. All right, let's simulate to our pick. With the 19th pick, Louisville is back on the clock. And there's trades to be made. Not bad. Solid players are being offered up. 19th pick. Bradley Beal is on the offers, apparently. Could be an interesting piece. A ticket seller, no doubt. Could bring in solid revenue. $50 million for the next 2 years. It's not like I plan on making any big free agency splashes. So, a very interesting option indeed. The 15th pick is being offered up alongside a Matisse Thybulle contract dump and a top 10 protected pick. Theodore Levins, a solid point guard, although not the greatest defensive prospect. 6'4", 200 pounds. A solid player, no doubt. He has solid potential as well. 4 badges. He's not a bad prospect. Draymond Green and Chris Paul, a big contract dump for Golden State. Very interesting offers, no doubts about that. Although let's just keep looking for now. First name that jumps up immediately is a guy by the name of Franklin Daniel. 6'9", small forward, 200 pounds, a bit undersized, although he projects to be a very solid all-around player. Very good close shot with a 96. Solid three-point shot that could develop. Good shot IQ. Solid offensive consistency. Good ball defender. Solid rebounder. Very good defensive consistency. Very fast on his feet. Very good athlete, very good potential. 63, has one badge. Matisse Thybulle knows how to help out his teammates when in need. Good balance. Not has trouble finishing at the rim, not getting there. Not the best shooter from the perimeter, needs work. I think it's an easy choice here. 19 years old, 7'3" wingspan. He's projected anywhere from 5 through 19. I think it's an easy choice here. Franklin Daniel, welcome to the team. 6'9" from Tennessee. He led all players at the draft combine at the shooting the college three, making 34 out of 50 attempts. No surprise that he was picked there. All right. With the 37th pick, we have a center, we have a small forward. Let's go out there and target a guard. We just need a guy that can fill out a couple minutes here and there. A guy with 2 badges, floor general, projected 35. That's basically where we're at right now. Although I don't want to pass up a guy by the name of Ivan Bogaric. I'll definitely have to learn how to pronounce his name. Projects to be Zydrunas Ilgauskas or Mortis Wagner off the bench. Poor reflexes. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, 3 assists. Projects to be a very decent power forward center. 22 years old, so he's a bit on the older side already. Chris Bellamy. Not a good 3-point shooter at the power forward position, although it's not really a concern there. Who's the best available? Cody Murphy could be an interesting prospect here. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. 20 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal. Solid shooter. Not a bad player here. 6'5". A point guard is what we need. A mid-range specialist. Let's go with Cody Murphy. Why not? Utah, 37th pick. Famed for being a walk-on at Utah, Murphy is now officially an NBA player following his second-round selection by the Panthers. His story is hard work, perseverance. I'll be rooting for him. So, a hard worker, no doubt. Let's simulate to the end of the draft. And, yeah, I'm very happy with the way the draft went. 82 overall, Jason Williams. 74 overall, Franklin Daniel. And 71 overall, Cody Murphy. And this is free agency. Let's look at our team real quick. Point guard is definitely a something that we need to focus on. We don't have a starting point guard. Shooting guards are solid, although we could use a solid starting shooting guard as well. Small forwards are fine. We got Langford, who was our starter last year, who did really great, although shooting the ball more meant less efficiency. Power forwards are Georges Niang and Stanley Johnson, so we definitely need to go and get a better power forward as well. And our center position is the strongest position, with Jason Williams now being our best player on the team. Although he's on a restricted contract, Immanuel Quickley only expects about $17 million. So let's give him a bit of an overpay of a $20 million 4-year flat deal. Hopefully he doesn't get hopefully they don't retain him and he signs with us. Yeah, no, there's a lot of players here. We could try to go out there and get a guy like Jordan Nwora from the Indiana Pacers. Although he didn't have the best year shooting, so maybe not. Patrick Williams could be an interesting player to take from the Chicago Bulls. He's expecting $20 million, which is a bit of an overpay for the production that Williams produced. He only averaged 10 points per game. Although 10 points per game on a stacked Chicago Bulls team might increase to maybe 15 points per game on on a team where Patrick Williams will probably be the third or second option even on a team. So we could give him that contract offer. We'll give him something similar to what I did to Quickly. We have 60 million to play around with. A guy like Tobias Harris for only $12 million could be an interesting sign. Maybe increase that 12 to 15 and just do a 1+1 and potentially trade. Although Harris 32 doesn't really fit in with the timeline that I'm trying to build here. Bridges could be an interesting signing as well. And unfortunately, I used up all of my free agency offers. So the thing here is Immanuel Quickley, Patrick Williams, and Harris, all of them agreed to their contracts. So I will hold off on Harris for now and bring in Quickley and Williams on their deals, 4-year 20 each. Williams will get a bit more than Quickley. All right, so Quickley will be my main point guard with Cody Murphy and Pickett sharing minutes off the bench. Kennard will be my main guard, main two guard as a starter, which I don't like. I guess Langford and Daniel. I guess Langford can run a bit of shooting guard and Daniel can run majority small forward, which could also work. Connaughton is an interesting option here as well. Didn't play much for the Milwaukee Bucks. Williams, Niang, Johnson is interesting there, and obviously Williams and Holmes is good there for now. I have a lot of players. Let's see, 5 players plus 6 is 11. And I have 15 players on the roster, so that means I cannot sign any more players unless I make way. Now the thing is, I don't really need Luke Kennard on the team, so let's just look at some offers. AJ Green is somebody that I don't really want to have on my team either. So if I don't find a trade, maybe I'll consider waiving or buying out. I mean, buying out isn't really a thing in 2K, so waiving it will be. So let's go see who needs a potentially a second string, a third string shooting guard. You know, Andre Jackson could be an interesting swap if I give you a yeah, Andre Jackson could be an interesting swap. So maybe if I give you Niang and AJ Green, you can give me Andre Jackson, and we'll just call it a trade there. Well, the Bucks cannot afford that, so unfortunately that will not go through. Let's go see who needs a shooting guard and power forward. Definitely not the Celtics. The Clippers could definitely use some players as Russell Westbrook, Paul George, James Harden, and basically their whole entire team hit free agency besides Kawhi Leonard. So AJ Green and Georges Niang could be a solid acquisition for the Los Angeles Clippers for a Orlando Robinson and a second round pick from 25. And the Clippers agreed to that trade. So Paul George actually signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. Very interesting. And James Harden goes back to the Brooklyn Nets. Claxton goes to the Raptors, and Valanciunas goes back to the Pelicans. Malik Monk is going to sign with the Pacers, and Harris also goes to the Raptors. Raptors making some big moves. Bruce Brown goes to the Sacramento Kings. I actually love that move for them. Klay Thompson to the Pelicans. Jones goes back to the Wizards. Oubre Jr. goes back to the Thunder, although this time I believe he will get minutes. In case you're wondering, Oubre was a part of the Chris Paul trade and was traded to Golden State almost immediately. Hayward goes to the Spurs. Hield to the Pistons. Williams obviously came to us. Okoro goes back to Cleveland. Warren to the Celtics. Horton Tucker goes to the Heat. after not re-signing with Dallas. He had a very solid year with Dallas at 13 points. I would assume majority of those points came when he was with us, but still a solid player. James Wiseman signs a 2-year, $27 million deal to go back to Detroit, and just a bunch of young guys at the end of the thing. Kyra Lewis goes back to the Pelicans on a 2-year, $10 million deal. I don't really understand this signing as he barely even played, only 1 minute last season. Well, that's their choice. Have more players to sign now. Quickly is solid there. Yeah, we should definitely target a small forward or maybe even a shooting guard. Um, a guy like Melton, Beasley, Burks could be interesting, although they're pretty old. Frank Jackson could be an interesting target here. He played a few minutes for Utah a couple years ago. Lindy Waters didn't play well. Cam Reddish could be an interesting signing for us, although he's a bit of a lower rating now. Any guards that could potentially run some 2 minutes? Craig Porter. He's 6'1", so maybe Quickly and Craig Porter could run a few minutes here and there. Could be an interesting signing. Let's sign him on a 2+1 team player option. He's fairly young. Bridges could be an interesting signing. Why not give him a 2-year option with team 1+1 basically. Where is LeBron going to sign? I'm curious to see what kind of offers LeBron is receiving, and it looks like he's going to go back to the Lakers. Okay. So Miles Bridges agrees to a contract, a 1-year, $17 million option there. Okay, not bad. And Craig Porter also agrees to a contract, so we're looking pretty golden at the point guard position. Well, I'm going to run Emmanuel Quickly at the 2, basically. Craig Porter and Emmanuel Quickly. Murphy is a bit taller, so he'll definitely be receiving a few minutes at the shooting guard position. Luke Kennard will be my backup alongside Terrence Mann. Langford Daniel will be my main small forwards alongside Baldwin, as Connaughton will not receive any minutes. Bridges and Williams will be my power forward options, and Williams, Holmes, and Robinson will receive minutes here and there. All right, so let's just simulate to player progression and see what we're looking at. Bridges jumps up by 2. Williams jumps up by 3. Porter goes up by 2. Now he's an A- 3-point shooter and also a B+ defender. A- playmaker, so a very good signing, it looks like, although he has 0 badges. Nothing to worry about. Langford jumps up by 2 overall points. That's great. And Baldwin jumps up by 3. Now he's a solid finisher, still a very great shooter, and is a better playmaker. Interesting. Richaun Holmes does not drop by a lot. Mann and Robinson go down. It's a bit concerning for Robinson because he's only 24 years old, and yeah, it's questionable. I mean, we'll see. And before I start simulating, I need to let go of one player. I think I have an idea of who it's going to be. I just got to make sure it is the right selection before I do make that move, the commitment to waive. Pat Connaughton's $9 million. Let's just waive him. It will eat up our contract for a couple years. It'll be spread out, no doubt. But I mean, it's no point in having a guy that I'm not gonna play. Let's look at our rotation and see what needs to be done. All right, so Craig Porter Jr. Did not play last year, although he's receiving minutes now with Cleveland. So we'll treat him like a rookie, 23 minutes per night. Quickly will receive 32 minutes per night. Williams will receive 29. Bridges will receive 28. And Williams will receive 36. Langford off the bench will receive 24. Kennard will receive 12. Daniels will receive 12. Baldwin will receive 12. Holmes will receive 10. Stanley will not get minutes at the moment. Murphy will get 10. Pickett will receive 6. And the rest of the minutes will go to man. All right, so we're still running a 13-man lineup, although not as deep as last year. And our first game will be against the New Orleans Pelicans, running CJ McCollum, Herbert Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas. A very similar lineup to what they're running right now. And let's simcast our first game away in New Orleans. Fairly close game in the first half, although in the second half they kind of blow us out. Quickly led us in scoring with 19. And Frank Daniels, 13 points off the bench as his rookie debut. Big win against the Clippers, who I own their picks, so that's great. Kawhi Leonard had a rough night, and the rest of the team is not looking great. Wow, they lost out on all their players besides Kawhi Leonard. It's Kawhi, Highland, Wood, Payton, who we had last year. Josh Primo's receiving 30 minutes a night, and that's not a good sign for your team. Jordan Miller is doing good things for the Clippers. Zubac is still around, and AJ Green is receiving minutes. He's doing good things with the minutes that he's receiving, although not good enough. Yeah, wow, I'm very impressed by this win. Quickly with 27 points. Williams, so far, he's struggling a bit from the field. But, I mean, hey, it's only his fourth game in the league, so I'm not, or third game in the league, so I'm not too concerned. Now, battle of future bigs, and we lose. Craig Porter had a solid game, 17 points, not bad at all. Let's look at how the Bucks are doing with their players that they acquired from us. Hardy, obviously the player that I was most excited about, I had to get rid of. And he's doing, well, very efficient things, 15 minutes per game. And obviously his scoring has gone down. He's running off the bench for Damian Lillard, but he's doing great things in Milwaukee. Lopez is fine. Leonard Miller is not even receiving minutes with the Bucks, and Trent is doing great things for Milwaukee. 16 points per game at the moment, with an increased load of minutes. Well, I didn't run as many minutes for him, 25 compared to 29 now. Williams he seems to be shooting a lot of threes. So maybe I'll go into his tendencies and reduce his three-point shooting because, yeah, he shot 44 three-point shots and only made 9 of those. And he went 0 for 7 from 3, which is not a good look at all. Nate Williams, I don't know much about him. Let's see what he's a solid three-point shooter, not the best defender, but he does have solid grades all around. Sure, let's give him a two-way contract if he wants to sign that. Right now, let's simulate these games against the Bulls. A good win at home. And another player is being offered up. His name is Hunter Tyson from the Denver Nuggets. Power forward, small forward, 24-year-old who doesn't really receive many minutes. Let's see what kind of player he is. Solid all-around player, B three-point shooter and a B defender, 24 years old, solid potential for Patrick Baldwin Jr., who is a solid player, although his three is not very efficient. Maybe in a different system he will do better. And the Nuggets are offering me a first-round pick. Yeah, sure, let's do it. Why not? Hunter Tyson and a first-round pick for a second-round pick. Why not? Yeah. Our leading scorer is no doubt Emmanuel Quickly, the guy that I expected to be our leading scorer on Beautiful efficiency, 55, 44, and 88. It's 22 games into the season, so that's a solid sample size. Bridges is very efficient as well compared to last year. Williams is our third leading scorer, although not efficient. Langford off the bench is 12 points per game. Cody Murphy as a starter. Let's look at his stats as a starter, which is 10 points per game, 3 assists, 1 steal, 55, 48, and 66% from the free throw line. It's great. He's a great starter. Nate Williams is very good as a player so far. He's averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 60, 50, 100, 10 minutes, plus 10 so far in the games that he has played, which is 2. Not a big sample size, obviously, but still. A sample size is a sample size, and so far he's plus 10 on the court. Luke Kennard is solid. Frank Daniel is okay. Pickett is okay. His efficiency is dropping. Tyson has played 3 games. He's solid. Holmes is fine. And guys like Mann and Johnson have received minutes here and there, and they're not the greatest, so maybe they won't be receiving more minutes after this. Anyway, let's continue simulating. Langford is back, so that means no more minutes for Mann. Holmes is fine there, 14 minutes. Craig Porter is fine. Pickett will get a minutes reduction with 7. Williams can go down to 7 as well. And Tyson can go down to 10. And Langford can go back up to 17 for now. And he'll slowly get those minutes back to about 20. A 4-game winning streak, I believe. Nope, 5-game winning streak. And we're going to go up against the Orlando Magic now. And a loss, our winning streak is snapped, unfortunately, there. But a game against the Las Vegas Flamingos. Let's look at what their team is looking like. The Flamingos, last year they had a season of 17-65, a small market team. Trey Mann from the OKC Thunder. Ooh, wow. He's averaging 20.6 rebounds, 5 assists per game on 43 minutes per game. Wow. Okay. Alec Burks is averaging 15 points per game on 28 minutes per game. Jason Tate is good. Jason Tate. 37 minutes per night. Maxi Kleber is playing 42 minutes per night. JaVale McGee is playing 40 minutes per night. Jalen Noel, 2 minutes per night. Gabe Vincent, 3 minutes. John Wall, 1 minute. Chris Butler, their rookie, 3 minutes. 4th overall pick, and they'll receive. Okay. I don't get interesting strategy. I'm confused. Not playing their 4th overall pick. Williams has a very solid night there. The rest of the guys, solid things. Yeah, what kind of a rotate? I'm beyond confused with what they're trying to accomplish in Las Vegas. Sure, yeah. And we're 7th in the power ranks. Not bad at all. I will decline that offer. I do not want to take on Jeremy Grant's atrocious contract unless I'm receiving a pick. A win against the Detroit Pistons and a loss against the Pacers. Malik Monk, yeah. Yeah, one of the worst offenses in the league. I'm not surprised by that. But we also have the best defense in the league with a differential of 2.2. Hey, not bad at all. We have a bottom 10 field goal percentage. And the I saw a Flamingo name. Panthers, yeah. And it's not a terrible 3-point team, apparently. And yeah, that trade really didn't work out in Dallas's favor, it seems like, because they lost out on the players that I shipped them to. And a very intriguing offer has made itself present to me. Desmond Bane and Jake LaRavia for Rashawn Holmes and Emmanuel Quickley. Now, Desmond Bane and Emmanuel Quickley are basically the same player when it comes to stats. Both are averaging about 20 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. Obviously, Bane is more positionally versatile. They're both about the same efficiency. The difference is Desmond Bane makes 14 million more, and he is 3 overalls better and also 3 inches taller. I'll skip on that for now. Maybe I'll come back to that. And we're only 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, so let's try to propose a couple trades here. The thing with my team is my point guards are solid, my shooting guards are solid, my small forwards are solid, my power forwards are solid, and my centers are solid. I would like to see what I could get for Miles Bridges and a younger player like Jalen Pickett. Got a guy like Lonzo Ball could be very interesting. He is healthy now. A very good point guard for the Chicago Bulls, and the Bulls have an overabundance of point guards at the moment. Lonzo Ball being the older one and also the most injury-prone one. Could be an interesting player to acquire. He's on a $14 million deal for 2 years. Bridges, Bridges definitely fills in a hole at the power forward position in Chicago, and Pickett is just an extra young player back. What do you think, Chicago? And they accept my offer. Rashawn Holmes will extend him one more year. Why not? He's solid. Langford is not eligible for extension. Nobody else is, basically. All right. Before I pass the trade deadline, I do want to look at a trade for Luke Kennard. $14 million. I'll pair you up with Stanley Johnson. That's about 16, 17 million. Let's see if there's any interesting options to be traded for. Caris LeVert could be interesting from Cleveland, although his 3-point shot is very shaky. Is there a potential play for Kawhi Leonard here? It could be an interesting idea. He doesn't have the most trade value, and the Clippers are terrible, so I'll give you your pick back to you. And 27 million would have to be given to them, so yeah, I don't think there's a way I can afford that. Maybe Man and Williams instead of Stanley. And then the Clippers could give me Zubac. You get your pick back. You get Patrick Williams. Luke Kennard, who's a solid shooter. Going back to Clippers, your pick. Terrence Mann, who's just cap filler. Patrick Williams, who's 23. And I can throw in Murphy instead of Mann. So you get a solid point guard who's really great, good potential. Patrick Williams, who's 23 years old, on a very team-friendly contract. Luke Kennard, who expires. You get your pick back. I'll give you my pick. And I'll give you my pick from 29. Let's shake hands on this. And wow. Kawhi Leonard is now a member of the Panthers. We make a move for Kawhi Leonard. To be honest, I didn't expect that to work. So the fact that it does work is intriguing. Now we go for the championship. Year 2 championship. For sure. So realistic. I mean, to be fair, the Clippers are terrible, so trading for Kawhi is a very realistic option here. Let's give Kawhi minutes. I don't like the fact that Kawhi only gets 28 minutes. Yeah, Kawhi is older, so yeah. Um, and let's give Tyson 12 minutes is good. 6 minutes to man. Whew, okay. Zubac off the bench is great. That means Holmes is kind of expendable. Let's explore. Could we make a play for Lauri Markkanen? Jazz would have to give up a player. Sure, of course, yeah. Give me your worst player. All right, Lauri Markkanen. I'll give you literally every pick that I have here for Lauri Markkanen. 4 first-round picks. Stanley Man for Markkanen and Fontecchio. Markkanen is a free agent, 1-year rental basically. Good player. Hell of a player. 7-foot power forward basically. A+ shot or A shot with B's on defense. All-star. Utah. Let's see if they'll accept, and they do accept. All right, so I think we're nearing the end of this rebuild, honestly. We're looking pretty golden here. Let's slide Kawhi over to the small forward position, which boosts him up to a 92 overall. It's great. I was assuming it will take a hit, but it didn't even take a hit. All right, so let's look at positions. Shooting guard is something that we need to focus on. So let's go out there and sign a shooting guard. Let's go out there and get Gary Harris. 7 badges, minimum contract, 2 years. Why not? All right, let's simulate to the end. We pass up on that. Lonzo Ball is eligible for an extension. I'll give him a 2-year 18 with a team option at the end. So it'll be a 1+1. Rest of the thing. See, this is what I didn't want that. Craig Porter will miss the rest of the season with a man. Okay. Fine. Let's do this instead. But I just need a couple that'll fill out minutes. I think I have 2 G League spots remaining. How many days do I have for him? No, I don't have any more. So Nate Williams, unfortunately, will not receive minutes at the end of the thing. But we'll go out there and get 2 more players. 2-way contracts. Damn, they just reset what I... Okay, fine. Yeah, let's just go out there and get a point guard and a small forward. Keon Ellis, sure. Yeah. Welcome to a 2-way contract. Yeah, sure. Isaiah Wong, why not? Sure. Important part of the rotation, so 20 minutes for them. Robinson doesn't play. And then off the bench, a guy like Frank Daniels can get a few minutes here and there. Although I do want him to avoid injury. Holmes can get minutes here and there. Harris can get minutes. Sure. Then Langford can get minutes. Actually, I want to start Franklin Daniels and just give him minutes. And Ellis can get more minutes. Daniels can get more minutes. Tyson can get more minutes. Cool. And that's it. 3 more games. Let's just run these games. A loss, and a win. 50 win thing. Luka Doncic is repeat MVP with a triple-double, 37, 10, and 10 on amazing efficiency. Jason Williams gets Rookie of the Year. He did improve his efficiency at the end of the day. Solid defender as well. Cam Thomas is Sixth Man of the Year with 22, 2, and 1 on very solid efficiency. Wembanyama is repeat Defensive Player of the Year. Amazing statistics there. Zion Williamson gets Most Improved Player of the Year, which makes absolutely no sense. The Phoenix Suns will take on the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Minnesota Timberwolves will face off against the Denver Nuggets. In the East is the Orlando Magic versus the Miami Heat. The winner of that game will face off against us. And New York Knicks versus Brooklyn Nets for a chance at the 8th seed. Brook Lopez, in a first-round pick, landed the Milwaukee Bucks' Terry Rozier. Josh Hart was traded for John Collins. Patrick Baldwin, and a second-round pick, gave us Hunter Tyson and a first-round pick. Rui Hachimura, and a first-round pick, got the Lakers' P.J. Washington and Bryce McGowens. Dusty Red, a point guard, was traded for Sam Hauser and a second-round pick. Christian Wood was traded for Skylar Mays. Miles Bridges and Jalen Pickett was traded for Lonzo Ball. Julian Champagnie and a second-round pick was traded for Trey Jones. Vince Williams Jr. was traded for Kyle Lowry. Jaden McDaniels was traded for D'Angelo Russell and a first-round pick. Josh Green and Olivier Maxence Prosper was traded for Mitchell Robinson and Miles McBride. Luke Cornett, a first-round pick. Patrick Williams, Cody Murphy, and a bunch of other first-round picks for Kawhi Leonard and also Ivica Zubac, and Stanley Johnson, and a bunch of first-round picks, also Terrence Mann, for Simone Fantasio and Lauri Markkanen. Cody Murphy. Seems like they did. He finished the season very solid. A steal for sure, man. Looks good to me. Let's run Lonzo Ball about 30 minutes. Actually, let's run him about 26 minutes a night. I cannot afford to have him getting injured. Kawhi Leonard about 32 is fine. Lauri Markkanen about 32 is fine as well. Williams about 30 is good. Zubac about 22. Langford about 17. Fantasio, we'll have him at the bottom of the rotation for a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. All right, Frank Daniels, let's have him 14. Tyson 14. Fantasio 11, and the rest goes to Holmes, and that rounds out the rotation. We're facing off against the Miami Heat. Obviously a very gritty and tough team. We're also facing off against a former Panther in Talon Horton Tucker, who was traded by us and signed with the Heat in free agency. Yeah, we're sitting at oh my goodness, a big blowout. Let's just get our bench lineup in. There's no point in running the rest of these guys unless the game gets close. So let's just get these guys out of the game, avoid any major injury. That score is I'm lost for words for how to process that score. That score is absolutely hideous. So let's just get the depth in the game. Yeah. Incredible. Simone Fantasio obviously ended with more minutes than basically anybody else. There's no point in running our main guys. Kawhi only ended with 14 minutes, plus 27 on the court. Quickly plus 38. Heat needs to come back with aggression or something. Yeah. We're sitting at a solid lead here, and yeah, there's no point in running our guys. Yeah, I mean, it is still a 13-point game, but I'd rather not have any risk. So let's just give more minutes to some of the better guys like Fantasio and Hunter Tyson, who apparently have played all of the minutes. Yeah. Sure, yeah, let's just do that. End the game with a victory. Once again, a 2-0 series lead going to Miami now. And a solid start here. Yeah, not looking back at all. Another blowout. Tyler Hero is now injured. Yeah, let's just have our rotation sit out for the rest of the game. The way it should be. Yeah, it's been a bunch of blowouts. We haven't even played our guys a lot of minutes. It's just been more minutes to the guys at the end of the rotation. Is it worth playing my stars? Sure. The comeback almost happened, actually. We're sitting at a 3-1 lead, very comfortable 3-1 lead there. Let's just end it at home, I guess. A 30-15 first quarter opening, and yeah, this series is over. Let's just end the series here. A 116-89. 4 out of 5 games were massive blowouts, and we're going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers in round 2. Let's look around the league and see what's going on. Dallas Mavericks beats Phoenix in 5. Golden State and Houston go to 6. Golden State coming up on top. OKC gets their revenge against the Portland Trailblazers from a couple years ago. Memphis takes on the New Orleans Pelicans and wins. All right, on the other side, Detroit doesn't waste time with Orlando sweeping them. Indiana goes to 7 with Atlanta and wins. Cleveland sweeps Embiid and the Sixers, and obviously we just took care of business in 5. We're going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, obviously a very solid team, although they seem to be very injured at the moment. He's out, and he'll be out for 1 to 2 more weeks with a broken leg, so he's coming back. Conley at the moment is the starting player back in his... I'm not sure if he was born in Ohio, but I mean, he played in college. So he's back in Ohio one way or another. Donovan Mitchell is doing Donovan Mitchell things. Evan Mobley is very good, 90 overall. Jared Allen is also near 90 at this point, 87 overall. He's been crazy this year. And Garland, I'm going to assume he's somewhere around a 90 overall as well. I'm not. Still going to be a rough, tough series. It was a close game until the end, and we lost by a couple of points. And we have the home court advantage, so we need to win these games. This is absolutely win. Yeah, and we're down to close. And we barely take care of the win there, going back to Cleveland. Okay, I'm still not very comfortable. It's a close game. All right, we tied up at 2-2. Going back to Louisville. Simone Fontecchio will have a day-to-day injury. I'm just going to keep him in the rotation and pray. Not looking great. It's not good. A 10-point loss, and it's a 3-2 series. Going to Cleveland, we need to force this game 7 here. All right, it's a close one. Oh my goodness, what a quarter. All right, game 7. And boom. Blowout win. Kawhi Leonard, not much to be said about his production. Let's simulate the round and let's see what's going on. Dallas Mavericks get they're out by the hands of the Golden State Warriors in 7. Memphis takes care of OKC in 7. Pretty disappointing for them. I'm assuming Chet Holmgren is injured, which he is. Yes. Memphis and Golden State will face off for a chance at the finals, and Detroit and us will go up against each other for a chance. Detroit is a very solid team, although they're missing out on Cade Cunningham, it seems like. Yeah, how long is Cade going to be out for? Well, Cade Cunningham will make his playoff debut in a day-to-day. So I'm assuming he'll probably be back by either game 1 or game 2. So let's just hope that we can take care of business quickly before he gets his rhythm. A very close back and forth game, and it seems like, wow, quickly hit the walk away shot, a 3-point winner, 34 points. Back to Detroit, actually. They have the home court, so. And a mean, solid game. Cunningham is back. Is this his first or second game? Let's see. I don't want an excuse, you know. I do. Okay, so that was Cunningham's first game, so he did miss game 1. Either way, damn it, Romeo dang, season-ending injuries. Yep. All right, so Romeo Langford will miss the rest of the season. I mean, he was having a cold series, only shooting 35% from the field, but a solid rotation player is a solid rotation player at the end of the day. Franklin Daniels is really great. He's really doing solid things. Hunter Tyson is cold in the playoffs. Richaun Holmes is doing solid things for us. Yeah, it's time for Gary Harris minutes. A guy that I signed at the last couple weeks of the season. Why not give him minutes? And also, not Robinson. I don't need Robinson minutes. Fantasia, how's he playing injured? Not great, but he's playing better than Tyson, who's healthy. It's fine. We can play injured Fantasia for now. Ball's doing great. Quickly's doing amazing. Leonard is doing great. Do keep in mind his numbers are down because of the first round. And so is Markkanen's number because he was also on a very extremely limited playing time thing. And Williams, oh, well, look at that. Williams not taking any threes because I told him not to take any threes, and he's doing solid things for us efficiency-wise. And Zubac off the bench is even better than Williams. But, I mean, I'm not gonna cut Williams' minutes. Frank Daniels is doing amazing as well. 46% three-point shooter at the moment. All right, I mean, if things go right, we shouldn't miss Langford too much because he was not efficient. But still, one of the key concepts of this team is depth. And missing out on depth is going to be tough. Well, looks like I'm not going to miss my depth as Leonard and Markkanen combined for 66 points. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Let's just sit out the rest of the guys. Yeah, we don't need unnecessary injuries. Yeah, let's just sit out the rest of these guys. Yeah, no. Orlando Robinson, Hunter Tyson get in the game. Play the rest of the fourth quarter. Why not? Yeah, this series is over. We swept them. That was a pleasant surprise. Richaun Holmes with 17-10. Great. A sweep. Simone Fontecchio is back, and we will be facing off the Golden State Warriors. And Emmanuel Quickley will walk away with Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Steph Curry will get Western Conference Finals MVP. Yeah, let's look at some of the stats before we go in the finals. Let's look at some player stats. Well, I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Lauri Markkanen have been getting less minutes, but hey, Emmanuel Quickley is the leading scorer of this team. Efficiency is looking great for everybody except Romeo Langford, who anyways will miss the rest of the season with his injury. That is a broken right kneecap. Unfortunately for the young fella. I mean, to be fair, we won't miss him much. Frank Daniels has stepped up amazingly in the spot of Langford. He's playing at a elite level, 58% from the field and 33 from three, 8 points per game in 18 minutes. Actually, I should have checked what the team looked like before I started simulating the games. But yeah, game 1 is ours. Lauri Markkanen had a great game. Let's look at what the Golden State Warriors are looking like. Very similar team to what they have right now. Steph Curry, Brandon Pajemski is now an 80 overall, starting alongside Curry from Santa Clara. Andrew Wiggins is still around, and he seems to have turned it around, especially in the playoffs. 16 points per game, back to his regular self. I really do hope Wiggins finds his groove back, because I know what he's going through mentally as a athlete is tough. Trace Jackson is starting, and he is amazing for the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green, Moody, Chris Paul, Looney. So it looks like they lost out on Klay Thompson. I think he went to the Pelicans. I believe that's where he went. Let me double check. Yes, he did sign with the New Orleans Pelicans. Should win this series in maybe 5. There's no need for unnecessary drama. Just take care of business. And 2 back-to-back blowouts. Yeah, wow. And another blowout. The reason why I'm not eliminating the minutes of the players is because I want to see who the true Finals MVP will be. Rather than, quickly receiving. Oh my goodness. 94-44 in the third quarter. Oh my gosh. Oh. 135-82. Oh, damn, it was such a crazy blowout that I completely forgot to jump in. Immanuel Quickley will receive the Finals MVP, though. I think this is where I'm going to call it an episode for now. Let me know if you like this more detailed, more raw type of thing, or you like the faster 20-30 minute video. Just let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time, man. And peace.